All right, today's assignment is going to, number one, you're going to watch the video called The Code of Hammurabi. It's only 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Just going to click on it. After that, you are going to think about what you watched and what we've talked about, and about how writing allowed us to start developing society. And then you're going to read the article from history.com. It's the number two part of the assignment. And the article is a little bit lengthy, but you are going to read through it, and you are going to ultimately create a position paper. Remember, the position paper is going to be you telling us what the author's intent of the writing was, and not what you think about the writing. That's what is the position of the author. And so in this case, whenever it's asking you who the person is who published it, it's going to be history.com. Whenever you look for the author, you need to look for the author's name. And it just says history.com editors, so that should be okay, but it also gives you all the information in the title and the date at the top. So this article is going to talk about what the Code of Hammurabi was, why it was developed, and how it allowed society to flourish more than it had before. And I just want you to realize the fact that without the evolution in communication with writing, we would not have had this code. We would not have had the ability to pass on hundreds of different scenarios of, if this happens, then this is the punishment, without writing and allowing us to put it into stone. So it's very, very important. After that, you're going to write a position paper in the Google form titled Code of Hammurabi position paper, and I want you to do a better job than you did with the very first position paper, okay? I'm going to expect more writing from you. This is an actual writing assignment. With that opening paragraph, again, that doesn't have to be more than 3 to 4 sentences, but that middle paragraph needs to have some meat on it, because you're actually talking about what they discussed over a very lengthy article. And so you need to explain the main points the author's making, and you have to distill those longer paragraphs and let us know exactly what they're trying to get across. You can use specific information from the article itself, but the majority of the writing needs to be your own. And then the concluding paragraph, you're going to take what you wrote in the middle paragraph, and you're going to prove to us, the audience, that this is the intent of the author in the piece based on what they've written. And then your next assignment is going to be, you're going to go to the website that says Code of Hammurabi, the Avalon Project, the Code of Hammurabi, and they have the entire list of this law, this Babylonian law. And so, Babylonian, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So, the Babylonian law, the Code of Hammurabi, is 282 laws long. And so whenever you go to avalon.law.yale.edu and you look at those, you're going to have a very specific assignment here. What you need to do is you are going to find 3 laws that are written in this code that you want to write about. Okay, so for instance, one of the things that I think is interesting is the fact that this law specifically talks about what happens if a male child is kidnapped, but it doesn't specify what happens if a female child is kidnapped. But you don't have to read through all of them. You just need to find 3 laws within this code that you want to discuss, and then you're going to use those laws in order to fill out the Google form that is going to be titled Code of Hammurabi 3 Laws Discussion. The very first thing that I want you to do, and this is the same direction for all 3 parts, you're going to copy and paste the entire law that you're going to use, including the number of the law. Next, I want you to hypothesize what kind of events might have happened to necessitate such a law. So, for instance, why would they have a specific law about people who are kidnapping male relatives instead of females? Like, you have to come up with an explanation for that. It's okay if you do some research and try to figure it out, but I really want you to be thinking about it. Next, third, I want you to think about what probably happened before this law occurred. So if someone were to accidentally kill a member of your family, or if they were to abduct a member of your family, what do you think society would have done about it. How would retribution have occurred if you didn't have the government saying, if you do this, here's the punishment? What was happening that meant that the government had to step in and take care of things? So again, that's going to be a hypothesis that you have to come up with. If you want credit at all, you're going to have to include this part as well. And then fourth and most importantly, I want you to think about and write how written communication allowed for the codification of behavior that made life easier for everyone. And what that means is, how did the ability to record things on clay, on stone, allow us to say, here is a code of behavior. Here's how you should act. Here's what happens if you don't act in the right way. How did that make life easier for everyone? And I want you to be specific about how the evolution of communication allowed us to reach that point, allowed us to have a certain level, a certain standard of what we would expect in society. All right, these only need to be 5 to 6 sentence paragraphs. So we're looking for 3 paragraphs here. And I know that this assignment seems like it's long, and it is a little bit long, but it's going to be the primary chunk of what we do in terms of writing. And so I really, really need you to get it done. If you don't get it done in class, then it is for homework. And we've gone several weeks without any homework, but this is going to be something that needs to get done as soon as possible.